Today we're going to do a demo of the Masonry Gallery block for FolioBlocks Pro, which is a premium WordPress plugin. Let's go ahead and start by adding the block into the block editor. We'll do / and type Masonry, and there we go. Before we add any images into our block, let's go ahead and set the block width to full width. Now that we've set the width, let's go ahead and add some images from our media library. We can select some images, create new gallery, and insert them into the gallery. With the gallery loaded, you notice you have a nice, beautiful masonry layout. All of the images have been added as inner blocks, which means you can grab any image and drag it and drop it to rearrange the gallery. You can also grab images on the left-hand side list view, grab an image and drag it there and drop it to rearrange the image in the gallery. Since the images are inner blocks, you can click on any image in the list view, and on the right-hand side, you'll bring up the block settings. Here you can change the image, edit the image caption, the image title, or the alternative text. As you're working with the gallery, you can also find additional settings displayed down here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the settings for the Masonry Gallery. We'll click on that, and the settings come up over here on the right-hand side. The first item that comes up is resolution. This sets the size of the thumbnail that's used in the gallery. The default WordPress sizes, thumbnail, medium, large, and full come up. And if your theme has additional image sizes, they should be represented in here as well. We'll leave that on large for now. Beneath that, you have an option to set the amount of columns that will be used in the gallery. So we can take this slider, drag it down. You see the images get larger as we have fewer columns. And then we drag it back up. They get smaller as we add more columns into it. You can also click on the little icon here and set the amount of columns for both tablet and mobile. Now beneath that, you have a setting to remove the gap between the images. We can turn that on, and you see that now the images all sit nicely flushed with one another. After that, you have a setting to randomize the image order. Let's go ahead and turn that on, and you see the order of images has been randomized. Now with this enabled on the front end, you will get a random order on every page load. So let's go ahead and turn that off for now. In the following section, you have your lightbox and hover settings. Here you can enable the lightbox. And once that has been enabled, an additional setting allows you to show the image caption inside of the lightbox. Let's go ahead and turn that on as well. Let's save that. And now let's load it on the front end. And so now when I click on an image, you see the image caption is visible inside of the lightbox. Let's go ahead and turn that off for now. And the next setting is show overlay on hover. We'll turn that on. And now when I hover over an image, I am shown the image title in an overlay. There's a couple different styling options for this one. So the default is the blur overlay. Then there is the fade overlay, which is pretty much the same without the blurring. And then there is a gradient overlay. This brings up the image title in a gradient from the bottom. And then lastly, there's the chip overlay, which puts the image title in a chip in the top left corner of the image. So that's show overlay on hover. In the following section, you have your gallery filtering settings. And here you can enable image filtering. So we go ahead and turn that on. You'll notice the first thing at the top, we have a new filter bar that is now displaying. And in the settings, you have a filter bar alignment panel. So we can set to align that to the left, the center, or the right. We'll leave that on the center. Beneath that, you can add your categories. But before we do that, let's go ahead and style the filter bar. Go up here and into the Blocks Styles panel. And in the Styles panel, if we go to the bottom, we have a section for Gallery Filter Bar Styles. So for the active button, the text color, we'll leave that white. The active button background color, we'll go ahead and turn that into a shade of blue. For the inactive items, we'll make the inactive text color white. And the inactive background a shade of blue. So that's going to look much nicer. Now we can go back and add our categories. So with these images, I would use wildlife, landscape, cityscape, architecture, fashion, maybe nature as well. You can see now we have a bunch of nice keywords here. And then all you have to do is go to the images and select which keywords you want applied to them. Go to this, and then we have a little drop down. We can put that in wildlife and put this under landscape. So now we can filter some of these. There you go. And why don't we see what that looks like on the front end? We'll just save and jump into the front end, reload. That is gallery filtering. Let's go ahead and turn that off for now. In the following section, you have your e-commerce settings. And the first option is to enable image downloads. We'll go ahead and turn that on. You see an additional setting asks you if you would like to display the download icon on hover, like it is now, or always. And this icon will let you download the full resolution of the image. Go ahead and turn that back off. The next setting is enable WooCommerce integration. And this setting will only display if you have WooCommerce installed and active on your WordPress installation. Let's go ahead and turn that on. You get a similar option asking if you'd like to show the add to cart icon on hover or always. We'll leave that on hover. And then we can go over to our images, click on any image, and you have a section for linking it with WooCommerce. So here you can just search for the product in your WooCommerce store. I know that this picture is in my store. We'll go ahead and add that. And now when I hover over it, you see it gets the shopping cart icon. When you have WooCommerce integration activated, some of the other settings get additional options. If we go back to the settings panel, if we enable the lightbox, you now have an option to show the image caption or the product info in the lightbox. Turn that on, and let's go ahead and put it for product info. So now on the front end, we can reload. We open this image up. Now you see in the lightbox, it shows the product name and price. If I go to another image, which is not attached with a product, you can see it has gracefully fallen back to showing the image caption. So that is the lightbox. And the same thing applies with the hover overlay. We'll turn that on. And now you have an option asking if you would like to show the product info or just the image title. So we'll put that on product info. And now you see here, we get the product information. And on this image that's not linked, you fall back to just showing the title. So that is WooCommerce integration. We can turn that off. Next, you have your advanced panel. And here you have options to disable right-click on page and enable lazy load of images. I think those are pretty self-explanatory, so we'll just move forward. Lastly, we have the styles panel for the gallery block. And here you can add a background to the entire block. So you can make this white. You can add some padding. Just like that. I'll turn that off. Turn the background off as well. And then at the bottom, you have your gallery image styles. And here you can add borders to the images. So let's go ahead and add a border. And we can add a border radius as well. And then we can even add a drop shadow, which you can't really see with the dark background, but there you go. That is the Masonry Gallery in FolioBlocks Pro. Thanks for watching.